Okay, we are wrapping up the next chapter, which is on other types of encumbrances. I gave you the question. I'm going to throw it back up on the screen here just so you understand what I'm talking about. It says all liens are considered encumbrances, but not all encumbrances are considered liens. What are we talking about here? All liens are considered encumbrances, but not all encumbrances are considered liens. An encumbrance is anything that affects the title to the property, good or bad. So all liens are considered encumbrances, but not all encumbrances are considered liens. Remember, an encumbrance is anything that affects the title to the property. So an encumbrance is not necessarily bad. It's not a lien on the property. It could be something good like an easement, right? So an easement is an encumbrance. Air rights, water rights, so that you can build a dock on your property. Those are encumbrances. So not all encumbrances are liens. They're not all bad things. So in this chapter, we talk about easements. We talk about other types of beneficial types of encumbrances. We go over some other encumbrances that are not very good, like an encroachment, when your property or a fence or something extends over on the property line. But you need to know all of these various easement, types of easements, like by necessity, by prescription. I've seen some of these on the exam. You can grant an easement through reservation, by necessity, or long-term usage. And the word adverse possession and long-term usage, I've seen questions on those. Remember, with adverse possession or through a prescriptive easement, or more specifically through adverse possession or long-term usage, has to be open, hostile, notorious. So you've got to be doing this for a long time. And then understand how to terminate an easement. You know, if I buy the property, a merger of the properties, that would terminate an easement. If I abandon the easement, or if it no longer exists. Non-use, so if I don't use it for 20 years, in Missouri it's 10 years, but every state's different, but non-use of that easement would terminate the easement. Release, written permission from the owner, lawsuit, all of those would terminate an easement. I would also understand what a license is. I think that's very important. I've seen some questions on that. The example I think I give you in your course material is it's similar to if you go to a concert, or if you go to a professional ball game, they're going to give you a license to use that seat in that facility. But if you go running on the field, or you do something obnoxious, throw a ball or trash on the ball field, they can tell you to leave, because they're just giving you a license to temporarily come into the facility and watch the game or the concert. And if you don't play by their rules, they're going to toss you out. So a lot of good information here. You will see a couple of questions from this chapter for sure. And I think if you study, you go over it, you read the test questions, you'll do just fine on easements. Then we talked about water rights, riparian rights. We talked about, there's some terms here that are in this chapter, and I think you really need to go over these, because these are going to be free softballs they'll throw at you. I hope it's okay I continue to use the baseball analogy for the test, but these are freebies, okay? Avulsion. I think I've been looking at the exam for 30 years, and I've seen either avulsion or accretion or erosion. One or two of those questions every time I look at the test. But accretion is the slow buildup. Accretion. Avulsion, remember, is the sudden loss of land by a flood or storm. And erosion is the gradual loss. So make sure you know those. You will probably see several questions. Riparian rights, river next to river, flowing waters. Again, I give you little tips, but riparian starts with an R, river starts with an R. That's how I connect those two if I see a question. And then same way with the littoral rights, I should say. L, lake, L. So you put both those together, you'll do just fine. So that also goes along with oceans and ponds, but rivers are rivers, streams, creeks. Riparian rights are. All right. Trying to think, and you want to know who, again, on easements, I would this is a good chapter. I think you really need to go over this and study it very well. I'm going to kind of bypass a test question on this specific module and just let you get right into your review questions and begin taking those. But you're doing a great job. Keep up the good work, and I'll see you in the next module.